Hi, my name is Mary. Today FM plays the best music in Lambasa. Today FM rocks.
My name is Thomas. I'm here in Nakasi and I like to listen to Today FM because it rocks.
My name is Milenia. Today FM rocks here in Singatoka.
My name is Alfriti and Today FM rocks here in Tabwa.
My name is Mary Jane. I love listening to Today FM here in Ba. Today FM rocks.
My name is Ilaiti Ambal and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks here in Osur.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news tonight, Speaker tells opposition to learn the law. PM counters Rambuka claims on social media. And QVS construction of poor quality.
From the studios of FBC Suva, Jackie Spade.
The Speaker of Parliament today ruled that opposition MPs should undertake further research when dealing with laws. He says this will enable them to provide the correct law when it's being used as a reference in a question asked in Parliament. Akusita Tale reports the instruction comes after opposition leader Sitiveni Rambuka raised a point of order that the Attorney General misled the Parliament yesterday in reference to a question he asked the Minister.
The Attorney General was asked to explain key criteria used in the waiver of tenders on the purchase of goods and services above $50,000 as required under the Procurement Amendment Regulations 2012. However, Rambuka mentioned the figures were substituted, corrected or amended from $32,000 to $50,000.
Mr. Speaker, unfortunately the question asked by the Leader of Opposition is actually flawed. There's no Regulation 29.3 in the Procurement Amendment Regulations 2012, which is Legal Notice 54 of 2012, which I have here, and there's no 29.3 in the Amendment Regulation 2012.
The Speaker today made a ruling telling the Opposition and Business Committee to ensure the laws and questions are accurate.
I now rule that the Opposition should undertake further research when dealing with laws so that they provide the correct law when used as reference in a question. And as the members of the Business Committee are aware, I stressed that the questions prepared should be accurate before it is considered by the Business Committee to be included in the order paper.
The Speaker says the onus is now on members of Parliament to prepare accurate questions to ensure he doesn't have to refer questions as such to a later sitting in the future. Rambuka's question will now be considered in the May sitting. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Prime Minister Vurenge Bainimarama has blasted opposition leader Sitiveni Rambuka for accusing him of nepotism, favoritism and corruptive activities on social media. Bainimarama says it's unfortunate the opposition has come up with a personal attack based on unsubstantiated allegations rather than contributing to the development of the country. Kelly Vadala reports.
It was this post on Facebook and opposition leader Sitiveni Rambuka's account where personal attacks against the Prime Minister were revealed.
Given the bankruptcy in ideas and the incompetency, one would think they would focus on becoming a meaningful, smarter, intelligent opposition that we all can take seriously.
FBC News approached Sitiveni Rambuka regarding the accusations today, which he says are all true.
The administrator got paid to that end.
So you do know this administrator?
Yes, I know. But nepotism we see. Nepotism is not a crime. Corruption is a crime which has to be proven. Yeah.
So do you think nepotism it's visible?
Like yes, it is visible.
With PM and his relatives, like
yes.
you mentioned?
Yes.
The PM says opposition should talk more about sound policy, government services, infrastructure development and civil service reforms improving the lives of Fijians.
You have seen from yesterday and today, the leader of opposition and his members could not get the law right, even when asking questions. You have seen the quality of their contribution, or the lack of it more appropriately. There are no tangible ideas. They contradict themselves and generally don't have direction.
The Prime Minister says there are more important issues to discuss on social media regarding the lives of ordinary Fijians rather than spreading lies through online platforms. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
The Attorney General has revealed the repair work done at 2 schools affected by TC Winston in 2016 had major defects. Ayah Said Qayyum says works carried out at the Queen Victoria School in Tailevu and St. John's College in the Wadi failed. Kritika Kumar reports the Indonesian government was responsible for the work at QVS, while the US Navy helped rebuild St. John's College.
The minister says the construction work carried out did not meet the local standards.
QVS specifically, the Indonesian government, as I said, dealt with the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. After they've done the plans, etc., CIU is brought in, but they're recommended to them to engage local consultants, local engineers for supervision and sign-off process. However, that suggestion was not considered.
The Indonesian government had agreed to fully fund and rebuild QVS after the devastation caused by the Category 5 cyclone. However, Said Qayyum says the Indonesian government did not take heed of Fiji's Construction Implementation Unit's recommendation.
Following the reconstruction by Indonesia, it was subsequently discovered that the construction was not up to scratch, it did not meet the local standards. So when CIU was asked to go and fix up the problem, then they discovered that the problem was a lot bigger. And we all know that. The reality is that we need to rebuild.
The government's Construction Implementation Unit was initially given 166 schools to be rebuilt. Of this, 143 have been completed and the remaining schools are expected to be completed by July this year. Kritika Kumar, FBC News.
The troubled history of municipal councils around the country were highlighted in Parliament today by the Minister responsible for local government, Pramila Kumar. While delivering her ministerial statement this morning, she claimed it is a history rife with scandals, corruption and squandering of ratepayer money. Not only that, but mismanagement and malpractice as well. Savaira Tambor reports.
The minister says under elected councillors, corruption and mismanagement had risen to such extremes that on 6 separate occasions, municipal councils had to be dissolved entirely.
The Suva City Council was dissolved under the Alliance government. In 1978, the Nosori Town Council was dissolved again under the Alliance government. In 1997, the Lautoka City Council and Sabu-Sabu Town Council were dissolved under the SVT government. In 2000, Singatoka Town Council was dissolved under the People's Coalition government.
However, an opposition member believes it is not on for the minister to use bad governance from the past as an overall example.
We do not need a lesson in history, Honourable Speaker, sir. And the Honourable Minister should look no further than her own predecessor, the Honourable Praveen Bala, who was the Bar Town Councillor for 16 years, from 1993 to 2009. And in this period, he was 12 years the town's mayor. There was unprecedented development in Bar. It was regarded as the cleanest municipality in Fiji. Does this mean that the Honourable Bala was leading a corrupt council?
Meanwhile, the Ministry for Local Government will appoint 5 special administrators to oversee the strategic management and provide direction to municipal councils. Sabira Tabua, FBC News.
Delays and waiting time tops the list of issues raised on the Ministry of Health's customer care toll-free line 157. Speaking in Parliament last night, Health Minister Dr. Ifiremi Wangai-Nambete says of the more than 6,000 calls received since the line went live in June of 2017, 90% of the issues raised have been dealt with. In addition to calls, Fijians can also text or email their concerns and complaints for the ministry to address. He says the next biggest concern they've been notified of is unsatisfactory treatment and poor staff attitude, which makes up around 10% of their overall issues.
The Ministry, in partnership with the Department of Foreign Affairs and Trade from Australia, is focusing on strengthening customer service through knowledge and capacity building and conducting patient experience surveys in all health facilities. Patient experience survey results will be used to gauge service quality and improve information for strategic direction to strengthen health services delivery across Fiji.
Still to come, RFMF prepares anti-terrorist force. And Fiji labels European Union a bully. Details after the break.
Nambula FM, nambandua ya nasere.
Hoya uvasit sai lambasa
Yang do talita ina warong ina bula FM number 2 en sere.
Gua do tumeli ako na tao no hinga toka. Talita kina na warong.
The Fiji military force has for the first time revealed that it is willing to assist the Fijian police force with arms if Fiji is faced with a terrorist situation similar to the one in New Zealand more than 2 weeks ago. With the Christchurch killings of 50 Muslim worshippers taking place so close to Fiji, the Land Forces Division of the Royal Fiji Military Force has moved quickly to put together a proactive plan to counter the possibility of such attacks against members of the Fijian public. Eleanor Tarangaivu reports.
A week after the Christchurch shootings, all the various cells in the Fiji military forces gathered for a week-long discussion on a plan of action to counter such incidents should they happen here at home.
The product of that was a paper known as a contingency plan. So a contingency plan of approximately 20-something pages outlining action that would be, or course of action that would be taken by the land forces, which are the main military fighting force or the army units that exist within Fiji.
Chief Staff Officer Operations Land Force Major Jeremiah Wanganisau says under the plan, the Fiji military forces stands ready to assist the Fiji police force with weapons.
So there is a plan in place to react to such an incident, assisting police, firstly reacting with the arms, helping them react to a possible shooting and supporting them afterwards.
Not divulging any further details, Major Wanganisau says all military installations throughout Fiji are working off this plan, which is being guided by the Land Force Command at the Lenambua, along with the RFMF Strategic Headquarters at Berkeley Crescent, the Ministry of Defense and security partners, the Fiji Police Force and the Fiji Correction Service. Eleanor Turangaivu, FBC News.
The Economy Minister Ayaz Said Kayum has labelled the European Union bullies for putting Fiji on their tax haven blacklist. Said Kayum says the EU's decision is disappointing and the manner in which they negotiated with Fiji on the issue has not been transparent.
Smaller countries like ours were bullied in the name of tax cooperation. In Fiji's case specifically, Mr. Speaker, sir, the blacklisting by EU is largely attributed to our position to maintain the following tax incentives, which have been introduced to support investment, exports and jobs for ordinary Fijians.
He says it's also evident that the EU has double standards.
We are not being treated equally. Mr. Speaker, so there are many countries in the world that have various tax incentives. In fact, we have modeled some of our tax incentives based on these countries, but they have not been blacklisted. I'll give you an example, Mr. Speaker, sir. The lower corporate tax rate for having regional global headquarters relocation was borrowed from Singapore. Singapore has a similar provision. We copied that. But Mr. Speaker, sir, guess what? They offer the same incentive, but they have not been blacklisted.
More than 100 men and women of the Republic of Fiji military forces returned home from their tour of duty in Sinai under the Multinational Force and Observers mission. The RFMF group are part of a rotational operation that started 3 weeks ago. Felipe Naikaso has more.
Touching down back home after a year's tour of the Sinai Peninsula, these men and women continue to be praised for their efforts. They were welcomed by the Director of Peacekeeping Operations and Advisor to the Commander, Lieutenant Colonel Pardolo Luveni, and the Australian High Commissioner, John Fix.
Today is about the men and women of the RFMF who have served their country and served the United Nations for 12 months in the Sinai in the cause of global peace.
Australia has been assisting Fiji in peacekeeping duties, and today saw the continuous close relations between the two nations.
I take my hat off not only to this unit, but to all RFMF personnel who've served in peacekeeping operations overseas. Theirs is a record of service and sacrifice, and they must be very happy today to be back.
Family members and relatives were also present at the airport to welcome their loved ones. Felipe Naikaso, FBC News.
Fiji Broadcasting Corporation former staff and veteran journalist Masimeke Latianara has passed away. The late Latianara started his journey at FBC in 1958, a loyal member of the news team and also a former sports commentator. He passed on at the CWM hospital last night after a short illness. He had dedicated 55 years of service to the broadcasting house. His funeral service will be held on Thursday at the Seventh-day Adventist Church in Tamavua before his later rest at the Suva Cemetery. He is survived by 3 children. "35 police officers from the Criminal Investigation Department are brushing up on their awareness of international law. Facilitated by the International Committee of the Red Cross, a one-day workshop held in Suva is for officers to better understand and implement international rules, domestic laws and internal police procedures. Maggie Boyle reports.
It's a yearly dose of learning what's working internationally in law enforcement.
Is aimed at sensitizing you, our CID officers, on the basic principles of internationally recognized standards pertinent to law enforcement, focusing on arrest, investigation and detention, as well as the use of force, search and seizures.
Given Fiji's commitment towards human rights and several international treaties, this upskilling is timely.
Hundreds of our officers have undergone training in international law, related matters, professional law enforcement, and international humanitarian law. As a nation, we are proud signatories of a number of international human rights instruments.
The workshop is a precursor to a follow-on workshop that will include supervising senior police officers.
During that high-level discussion with senior police officers, we will be talking about the challenges facing the police in the legal framework internationally applicable to law enforcement operation and the reality on the ground.
At the end of today, CID officers are expected to adopt the best options that can improve their capacity to deliver essential services. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
Coming up in sports later with Jamie, the Australian seven-side wary of its pool opponents in Hong Kong. But first, Akusite is here with business.
Thanks, Jackie. Good evening, and coming up after the break, Brazil shows interest to boost Fiji's tourism. And in growing Fiji, $1.7 million used for drainage work in non-sugar farms. Stay with us.
Zola, I am Eleanor. For the best classic hits, I only listen to Gold FM here in Singapore. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Seni Rawa. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Dino. I'm from Outrigger, Coca-Cola, Singapore. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Salote. I love listening to Gold FM here in Nosuri. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Bula, my name is Marida. Gold FM plays the best classics here in Outrigger, Singapore.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Brazil's commitment to assist Fiji's tourism sector will allow Brazilians and tourists from other South American countries to visit Fiji. Brazil's honorary consular to Fiji, Nusa Farid, has confirmed that within 6 months, they will increase their presence here following the recent visit by the non-resident Brazilian ambassador based in Canberra, Australia. Savera Tambo reports.
Fiji doesn't get much tourism from Chile, Argentina or Brazil. However, Brazil's commitment to Fiji will allow this to happen.
50,000 Brazilians come to Australia. So 10% of that is 5, or at least 5% is 2,500. And Brazilian is a little bit of a rich country compared to us. So if they are coming all the way from Brazil to Australia, they'll come to Fiji not for 1 or 2 days, maybe for a week. So I think it's a big win. We are getting tourists from, because our tourist numbers from South America is very low.
Brazil wishes to increase its profile in Fiji and also assist not only in the tourism sector but in other areas as well, considering Fiji is the hub of the region. The Fiji Hotel and Tourism Association says Fiji should take advantage of such opportunity.
So it would be good to see that there are available fares to encourage tourism to Fiji from Brazil. But more importantly, it would certainly help a lot if there are services from that part of the world to Fiji.
Meanwhile, Brazil is also keen to assist Fiji with technical football coaches. Saboy Ratamboa, FBC News.
Sinifa from HFC Bank joins us now with the latest from the money world.
Immediate focus is on the Reserve Bank of Australia's monetary policy decision due today. The central bank is expected to stand pat on interest rates, but its policy views will be closely watched after the Reserve Bank of New Zealand shocked the market last week by adopting a dovish policy stance. The US dollar hit a two-week high against the Japanese yen this morning, as easing concerns about the global economy pushed US bond yields up from 15-month lows. US retail sales unexpectedly fell in February, but a rebound in factory activity in March and a strong increase in construction spending offered hope the economy was not slowing as sharply as previously feared. US Treasuries were sold and their yields surged overnight, with the benchmark 10-year rate rising as encouraging manufacturing data out of the United States and China spurred some investors to scale back their holdings of safe haven bonds. That's all from HFC Bank for now. Vinaka.
Thanks, Sinifa. Now here are today's exchange rates as set this morning. The Fiji dollar remained fairly steady today, rising against the New Zealand dollar, the euro and the yen, while slipping only slightly against the other currencies recover. Looking at other commodities, crude oil prices were on the rise back, approaching $62 per barrel. Gold dropped to $1,287 per ounce, and silver closed down at $15.08 per ounce.
To date, the Ministry of Agriculture has carried out $1.7 million in drainage work on non-sugar farms. Minister responsible, Dr. Mahendra Reddy, says they include vegetables and root crop farms. Dr. Reddy says in the Central Division alone, they spent more than $700,000 on drainage work, and in the Western Division, drainage work has been carried out on 38 farms.
Central Division, where we don't have sugar, drainage work has been undertaken in 48 locations with a total cost of $747,000. This includes 7,753 hours of machinery, and it involved 371 kilometers of web.
And that's a wrap from the business desk for tonight. Jamie is next with sports.
Thank you, and good evening in sports tonight. The latest from the Fiji Sevens team in Hong Kong. And a jubilant welcome for Coke Games torched by girls champions. This and more after the break.
Hi, I'm Jyotishma. I'm from Singatoka. I love listening to Mirchi FM. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM is #1.
I'm Charlene Robert. Mirchi FM rocks in Lambasa.
I'm Soname Nasori Jackson. Mirchi FM is hot.
My name is Raymond Dutt. I'm in Baba Singh Alliance. Mirchi FM is hot in Lambasa.
I'm Pritika from Jax Nasori. I love listening to Mirchi FM here in Nasori. Mirchi FM is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Fiji Airways Sevens coach Gareth Baber says the national side is working on creating a team culture that pushes it to perform at its best regardless of where it is playing. With Fiji being the most successful team in the Happy Valley tournament, most notably in the last 4 years, he hopes to have a team that performs in every tournament like Fijian teams usually do in Hong Kong. Koroi Tandolala has more.
Our national sevens gladiators know how important the Hong Kong tournament is for Fijian fans, and they're doing their hard yards to ensure they get all the basics right to counter their tough opponents in the pool of death.
The reality of what we do here is to create in our players the understanding that when they go out and represent Fiji, be it in Fiji, be it in their local village, be it out here in Hong Kong, it's exactly the same. They've got to prepare themselves and get themselves and be accountable for their performances equally wherever they are around the world.
Coach Gareth Baber says they've been the defending champions 4 years in a row, and the focus of all the teams will be on them.
I do believe in providing an environment which is challenging, but gives consistency to the players, gets them to understand what their focus points are through a week.
The Welshman says the new faces in the squad are there mainly to get the taste of what Hong Kong offers in the World Sevens series.
I suppose the big thing this year is we've got a couple of new players in, some younger players in, and the change this year is really probably introducing them, as I said, to what Hong Kong is about.
Fiji meets Kenya at 11:37 Friday night in its opening pool match. They will then play Australia Saturday afternoon at 5:30 before taking on New Zealand at 8:55 p.m. Koroi Tandulala, FBC Sports.
The Australia men's sevens team has a clear-cut plan to make it out of the pool of death in Hong Kong. The arrival of the 2019 Coca-Cola Games torch today at Andi Thakambau School reignited the game's spirit of students and athletes as they count down to the Fiji finals in 2 weeks. The girls, defending champions, welcoming the torch relay this afternoon with so much enthusiasm. Meli Tavanga was at the event and filed this report.
The sound of the school song echoes across the compound of Andi Thakambau School as they welcome the torch. The arrival of the torch has boosted the school spirit with less than a month to the Fiji finals.
Again, look at our students when they arrived. They were full of happiness. They were jovial and in frenzy. Coca-Cola torch really rejuvenate that spirit that ACS is known for, and we look forward to have it again, to be in the spirit, be feeling that spirit at the end of the term.
The torch relay team has so far received positive feedback from the schools they visited earlier.
We started about day 19 in RKS, and the school was very happy, and they are more psyched up to Televan North College and into Nosori Town. We also visited our Lily Memorial School. The torch will stay overnight at ACS and travels tomorrow to Waindina, Namosi and Wainimaku to secondary schools. Meli Tabanga, FBC Sports.
Prime Minister Vorenge Bainimarama will host Fiji's contingent to the Special Olympics on Thursday to celebrate their achievements at the Games in Abu Dhabi. Minister for Youth and Sports Parvin Bala says the athletes have done the nation proud with a great outing at the Games that included 7 gold medals.
The Honorable Prime Minister will house them on Thursday, and will definitely they will be rewarded as well.
Japan-bound All Black Ryan Crotty hopes to end his time in New Zealand on a high. Arsenal has climbed into the top 3 of the Premier League with a 2-0 win over Newcastle United. In today's Play of the Day, Fiji Sevens player Amniasi Tuimamba has been listed by World Rugby as one of the players to look out for at this weekend's Hong Kong Sevens. Tuimamba is having an impressive debut season and has scored 20 tries so far.
Amniasi Tuimamba, superstar in the making. Tuimamba! A star is born! Striding away! Well, this kid's been brilliant all weekend. Oh, the defender's brilliant. Amniasi Tuimamba.
Tuimamba, one man to watch for the series to come.
Get out of my way! What a play, Tuimamba.
That's it from Sports Tonight. Joy and Angie later on with weather, and in the world of the weird and wonderful, the amazing story of the stranger who brought a puppy back to life. That's coming up.
मैं नवनीत नंद नंबुआ लुम्बुआ से। जैसे ट्रेनी नॉर्थ मशहूर है, वैसे रेडियो फिजी 2 भी सभी जगह मशहूर है। रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
सीमा नकाशी से मैं रेडियो फिजी 2 पसंद करती हूँ सुनने के लिए। रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
मैं हूँ अंकल किंग सिंगाटोका टाउन के टैक्सी ड्राइवर। जैसे रग्बी फेमस है, वैसे रेडियो फिजी 2 फेमस है।
रेडियो फिजी 2 देश की धड़कन।
Tonight's
tonight's new media, we take a look at a new fold-up and go 4K drone. It's weather time now with Angie.
Hello there and welcome to the Weather World. What a lovely day, although we had no rain today. Gradually the weather is settling well, great for us and of course the laundry. Taking a look in the west, quite cool with showers bound for the evening. Eastwards from Pakaba to Suva, super sunny and very humid. And up north, a semi-fine day was witnessed here. At sea, easterly winds at 20 to 25 knots, moderate to rough seas. For the tides, low tide at 10:24 p.m. and high tide at 4:47 a.m. Sunrise at 6:13. For tomorrow, the weather is expected to stay like this. Tomorrow's temps, all centers will be hitting the lower 30-degree range and will be super cool. And looking further on to Thursday, showers will be around, but not for long. And that's all from the FBC Weather World. Jackie.
Thanks so much for that, Angie. In Fijian Pulse tonight, we asked, should more training be provided for police officers to investigate sex crimes?
Police officers should be well educated on what's happening around them, especially if they see any kids officials, they should know what's going to be happening next.
The police should be more educated when dealing with these crimes.
The police department should be well versed with sex crime laws before they can tackle any issues with regards to sex crimes.
I believe that the Fiji police needs to get all the technical and all the support that they can get, the training especially tackling the crimes this day as the criminals are getting advanced.
In the world of the weird and wonderful, a puppy who was choking on a piece of sausage was saved by a good Samaritan who wouldn't give up until the pup was safe. Recapping the main stories for tonight, Speaker tells opposition to learn the law. PM counters Rumbuka claims on social media. And QV's construction of poor quality. Now for these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. To our poll question segment, this week we're asking, should people stop from making hateful and racist comments on social media? Visit our FBC website to answer. Before we go, our shot of the day is all the way from the beautiful Maui Bay along the Coral Coast. A spectacular day on the beach, and what better way to spend it than watching the calm waves at this tourist spot. This was sent in by Ella from Nasese. Remember, you can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page FBC News. You can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. That was your FBC News for tonight. From the team and I, good night.
Bula, nevang go malakay leloma, go ngay nakas on the wagrong ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.
Hoya ubasit sa ilambasa, ya ndo talita ina warong ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.
Guya do tumeli, ako na tao no hingatoka, talita kina na warong ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.
Wana tunga ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere nawaluan.
Nevang go fane na tao no singatoka, kita ndo talita ka ng Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.
Bula FM, nambando ay nasere.